In today's video, I share with you the Monster Slayers Shadowcurse Kickstarter by Crippled Foundry. But before we get into today's video, just want to share with you what the GGGGs are for this month. Each month, Bob the Beholder picks some of my Patreon supporters to receive gratitude gifts. And for this month of October of 2024, we have a pledge for the Vrahod Age of Prophecy Kickstarter. Go ahead and check out my video if you haven't seen that review. And actually, these 5 villains from this Kickstarter that is going to be printed and shipped to one of my Patreon supporters. Go ahead and use the link below to go to my Patreon page where you can find out more information on how you can get in on the chance of being chosen by Bob for one of these gratitude gifts. So as of filming this video, the Kickstarter actually hasn't launched yet, but by the time I post this video, it will have launched on October 15th. So go ahead and use the link below if you are interested in jumping on. But here's the promo video, and you can see there's some really cool STL files that are for sale. And it seems like they might be selling printed versions of it as well, in case you don't have a printer. And also there is going to be an adventure, a 5e compatible adventure. So make sure you check it out and see what's on their website. And we are actually going to go over to the Kickstarter page, at least the preview page, because it's not going to change a whole lot once it goes public, so that you can see what options are available. They did send me these pre-printed ones, and I'm just gluing them to their base. I like that there are slots for the larger enemies, so you're going to be able to slot them in. I just used some super glue. We'll just wait for it to dry. And then here you're going to see some of the detail from the ones that they sent me. And I think there is a lot, like most resin prints, you're going to find a lot of detail. And here on the left, I went ahead and printed it out on my resin printer just to do a comparison. And for the most part, they look pretty much the same. And what I'm impressed by as well, I'm not 100% sure what kind of resin that they use, but it definitely does have a lot of detail to it. And also, I don't show it here, but it has a lot of flexibility too. So whatever resin that they're using, I think has enough durability that if you're using them, you don't have to fear breaking it if you were to drop it or whatnot. So just as a comparison, I think it works out really well. Here are the bases. Again, the one on the left is the one I printed out. So there's a good amount of detail on these. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these onto their bases and just show you all of the ones that they sent me, a handful from their current Kickstarter campaign. Here you see a comparison after I glued it on, and I wasn't 100% sure how to glue these horses, this nightmare, onto the base, and I just did it 2 different ways so that you can see that at least for the horse there wasn't a certain way that you had to glue the animal onto the base. But impressed again by the level of detail and sort of how it fits the theme of Halloween that's coming up. And then here are a couple of the other ones that you see here. Follows the theme of just being ghoulish and Halloween themed. I think it looks pretty cool. The amount of detail on this armor, this chain armor, it looks really cool as well. So the regular fantasy tropes aren't really followed, where you have more of this unique style to it, more grim and dark style to the miniatures that, again, I think fits the module. I really like this scarecrow a lot on these stilts. Looks super, super cool. And I think most of these are going to be 32mm scale. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to check. It's probably on their Kickstarter site that we're going to see in a little bit. But awesome level of detail. Going to be able to paint these up really well, really nicely, I think. All of the Crippled God miniatures that I have received in the past has had excellent detail to them. And again, just super unique design to it. So if you're looking for sort of a grim, dark kind of fantasy, dark fantasy kind of feel, I think these are really good miniatures for that. I know there's a couple of tabletop war games where you use grim, dark fantasy miniatures. I think this is a good option for any of those games as well. But this is designed to specifically work with the module that's in here. And this is one of the enemy bosses that I think looks really cool. It's fairly tall, as you can see in this video, but looks appropriately nightmarish and ghastly. Just look at that face. So really, if you're going for that theme, I think this is an excellent set that you can get, and whether you use a slap chop method with some contrast colors or speed paints, or whether you do the traditional style of painting, I think these are really nice miniatures to be able to capture that feel and theme. And again, the gratitude gift for this month is a full set of printed miniatures, all of the bosses, that will be mailed out to you. This is just the promo that came in the box that they sent, in case you were interested in checking out their site and what other STL files that they have. They've had a couple of campaigns so far. So let's go ahead and take a look at the preview page. Again, this will be live by the time I post the video, so might look a little bit different. It says here they've created 7 different campaigns. So again, you can check those out. And then here are some free STL files if you want to first print it out yourself. Make sure that it prints for you. Also has some terrain there, along with this really cool headless horseman, which is awesome. There is, interestingly enough, some pre-launch stretch goals based on the number of followers campaign. So go ahead and check that out. There's over 1,000, so this has been unlocked. I don't think the Goliath Demigod has been unlocked. And here is the module and the maps that's going to be available as an adventure. It says it's 5e compatible. Well, I really like this. It says, unsettling mood and atmosphere that will challenge your morality. So I love it in games when you are pressed to make moral choices and it isn't always obvious that you should do the good thing. And then here are all of the miniatures, and a lot of the larger ones across the top are going to be your boss monsters. Looks like you're getting some trolls. Here's the nightmare. A couple of different poses for the scarecrows. So I really like that. You're getting some variety. These guys must be minions. Here's some harpies. And then maybe these are some of the player characters. I have this one right here. So I think that's super interesting. Yes, we have the shadow touched heroes. You're also getting some terrain pieces, which I always like. And these are, looks like they're small enough that you could print them on the resin printer. Although typically I print out all of my terrain on my FDM printer just because they're larger and I save money on that. But maybe some of these smaller ones I might print on the resin printer. Oh, there is also an early bird, although by the time I post this, I think it might be over. But go ahead and check to see if the early bird is still available. And I think that's it. So go ahead and use the link below because it should work for their Kickstarter page once it does go live. And you'll be able to make your pledge if you are interested. Again, this set of 5 villains pre-printed will be mailed to one lucky person that Bob picks for one of this month's GGGGs. Go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe, and check out my other videos that reviews games as well as has a bunch of 3D printing tips. Happy printing! We'll see you next time.